A proper fitting, less expensive suit is better than an ill-fitting, expensive suit. What's going on, y'all? My name is Jalen, and I am here with the one and only Dr. Akeem Walker. We're going to talk about some things regarding to fashion fundamentals and how a suit should fit. Doc, for the few people that might not know you on this earth, I know you're well known across the land, but can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got into menswear?
Sure. Akeem Walker, hailing from Suffolk, Virginia, by way of Houston, Texas. I am both a pastor and I like to call myself a social critic, just because I like to critique things. I got into men's fashion, I think like most of us. I grew up in church, right? I know we live in an age now, no shade to anybody, where you can wear jeans and t-shirts and come as you are, but I grew up in old school Baptist where Sunday you put your clothes on. And so from a very early age, I fell in love with dressing. I was a kid who wore slacks and stuff to school, right? And then about the age of 18 is when I'm still short, but vertically challenged. I was too small for the men's clothes and too big for the boys' clothes. And so that's when I really learned about the whole tailoring and custom suit kind of, I'm going to say game, but that's how I got into it. Now, fast forward, God has privileged me to start my own company, Walk Right, because I love dressing and I believe that you don't have to go in debt in order to look good.
That's good. That's important. Growing up, like you said, growing up in the church, man, my parents would not let me iron my church clothes. They said, no, I'm going to iron your church clothes. You deal with your play clothes, as we call it, because we had play clothes and church clothes.
That's right.
And so that's how I got a similar start. My pastor would always wear suits. And so growing up, for a lot of us, our pastors were one of our first role models. And so seeing my pastor, wear suits, and he was clean every Sunday. It was just something like, man, I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the most important things to a suit, I'm pretty sure you would agree, is the fit of a suit. Why do you think that the fit of the suit is so important? What are some of the benefits to having a proper fitting suit?
So I think one, it's the man or woman, because women wear suits now too, right? But it's the person that makes the suit, and you want your suit to look like you. Yeah. Right? You don't want to look like you just woke up and grabbed something that is baggy and sloppy. I think because if that's the case, particularly for African-American men, right? Sisters will come back to y'all, but for African-American men, and we're talking about Sundays, historically, that was the only time that for most of our forefathers, they could put on, after being in the fields all week long and being called boy and all of that, Sunday was the day they took pride in putting some clothes on, because for most of them at the church was the only place they would ever hear the word Mr. or Mrs., right? And so I think now we are far removed from that, but historically, when we put on dress clothes, it makes us feel, you ought to feel like somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's like a man, when you leave out the barbershop, can't nobody tell you nothing. Sisters, when you get your hair done. So a suit, it should fit you properly, not how it looks on somebody else, because you and I can put on the same kind of suit, but it's going to fit different, our bodies types, the way in which we look. And there are several different types, right? You have the athletic fit. So people who have athletic builds, that's going to look a little different, right? Most people are familiar with the European, or what we call the contour look, which means it's literally shaped for you. And then some people do like the loose fit. That's more of a Hollywood kind of style, where you see the more baggy kind of oversized pants. That is not a look for me. You have to have a particular shape for that. And so those are the three most popular looks, right? You have the loose, and even when I'm making a suit, I ask people, do you want it regular fit? Do you want it? And then you have slim fit. Slim fit is not what we see like tight and skinny. Slim fit just really means it's more shaped to your body type.
Right. Yeah, that's important. And like you said, when you have a proper fitting suit, you step outside that house, it's nothing like you got a good fragrance on, you got a haircut, you feel like you can conquer the world. And so, like I said in the beginning, a proper fitting suit is more important than the cost of a suit. Yes, you want to have a good quality fabrics, but at the end of the day, you can have a $5,000 suit, but if it don't fit right, it's gonna look cheap, anyway. So you want to make sure you have a proper fitting suit. And like I said, it's going to differ depending on your body type, and there are different factors. But overall, you want to have a good fitting suit. So with that being said, let's talk about the jacket. Let's start with the jacket. What are some things that we should look out for in terms of the jacket? Shoulders, when you think of the waist, when you think of the sleeve lengths, what are some general guidelines and some rules to consider when we think about the jacket?
Before I jump into that, you just said something I want to go back to real quick. You do not have to fall into this notion that the more money you spend, the better the suit is. That is it's like anything else. The name is what makes the suit, but you can go to a thrift store, get a great suit if you find a good tailor that knows how to make it. So I just wanted to, when you said it kind of jarred my mind that the amount of money you spend, yes, fabrics do make a difference, but it does not mean that it's a better suit. Because if you spend $5,000 on an Armani suit, but it's not properly fit to you, you're still going to look horrible, right? So anyway, as it relates to, so you want to make sure that there's not a large gap when you sit down. Both Jalen and myself, you want to be able to at least put one hand in your suit. But if you can, if you are standing, if you could pull your suit jacket, and this goes for men and women, and you can get another person in it, it's too big. Sure. If you could wrap it around you, it's too big. So the jacket should fit you and have, I would say, no more than an inch. 2 is probably too big, but no more than an inch for room. As it relates to your shoulders, you want your jacket to fit on your shoulder. There are different types of shoulders, whether your jacket has shoulder pads in it, thick shoulder pads. Those are things that you can do to make up for people who like to look like they got broad shoulders but don't, right? And then as it relates to your waist, you want the jacket again to match your body shape. You don't want a boxy look. You want to look like when somebody look at you, you want it to look like they actually sculpted that suit on you. As it relates to your sleeve length, the sleeve of your jacket should come down to, if you, like yourself, if you were to have on a watch or a bracelet, to where you do not have to, this is, we can get into this later, but this is one of my, I hate to see this. When you see people who do this, they put their watch behind. I cannot stand it. That is so tacky. I don't care what kind of expensive watch you got. Do not ever do that, because the jacket is supposed to be watch, shirt cuff, suit jacket.
Say it again.
So or if you don't have a watch, it's supposed to be shirt. So your jacket is supposed to come at least to your wrist. And then there's supposed to be, at least standard says, at least a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch for your shirt sleeve to be shown. So your suit jacket should not come down to your hand and be all hanging. Those are little small things that you can do, whether it's a custom made suit or off the rack suit. That's just a standard fit.
Right, cool. So that's the jacket. Then let's get into the pants, right? The trousers, as we would say. You got your high waisted. You have your pleated pants, double pleats, no pleats at all. Then you have, the width of the pants itself, the length of the pants. What are some general guidelines, some good rules of thumb? We're talking about the pants of a suit.
So when it comes to pants, high waisted, regular waisted, whether you wear belts or what we call suspenders, but actually they're called braces, because suspenders are the clips, braces are what you wear with the buttons on the inside of the pants. That's a little nuance. But you're not, when it comes to your waist, again, you're supposed to at least be able to fit 3 fingers all the way around your pants, right? Now, some people, you don't have to have room, but anything beyond 3 fingers is too big. If you can fit your entire hand in your pants, you need to go get them taping in. And again, that's a small thing. You don't want to have to put on a belt and then your pants are scrunched where you can't open your jacket. As it relates to pleat, no pleat, one pleat, a double pleat, that's personal preference. It also is depending on how your body is built, right? It also depends on, this is a podcast, so I want to make sure I'm how endowed you are.
That's right.
That matters, right? Because those kind of things, pleats give you a little bit more room. When you don't have any pleat, it literally is flat. And so you have to be cautious of those things. How your seat, you don't want your thighs to be too tight. Now, again, most ladies, they like that look for them. I always tell people it's better to leave a little bit more room than to have no room at all because it's skin tight. Right. And if you swell, gain weight, lose weight, that matters. As it relates to the pants, again, some people like that slim fit, some people like the skinny. There should be no, and I know we see NBA players and NFL players do it. They are rich. They don't have to worry about what people think about them, but it's still wrong. A man should not be wearing pants that looks like leggings.
Talk about it.
It should not be the case where your pants are like tight around your ankle. No. And your pants should come when standing. We're sitting now, so you can see there's a rise. But if both of us were to stand up, your pants are supposed to come right at the tip of your shoe. It's supposed to come right at the tongue, what we call a break. It's supposed to be a little bit. Now, whether you wear a cuff or no cuff, that changes throughout the year. Some people wear cuffs. Some people don't like to wear cuffs. That's personal preference. But there is a proper way for your pants to fit. Your pants should not be dragging under your shoe. If you get a suit off the rack, they're what we call unfinished. So you got to get somebody to hem it, right? Sir. Whether you get a stitch hem or go get some Scotch tape and all that kind of thing. But you got to hem your pants, brothers. You got to hem your pants. Please. And the baggy look versus the tapered look is really a preference. Again, the tapered look is a more cleaner look. The baggy look is just a bit. But please, whatever you do, make sure that your pants are tailored for you. Yeah,
that's good. Real quick, just give us a few guidelines about the shirt. You know, we typically don't see it as much because we have our jackets on. But is there anything that we should be looking out for in terms of maybe the length of the sleeve, the fit of the shirt itself, or the collar size and all of that?
Yeah, so if we're talking about for most people who go to the stores, right, the shirts for the body size, that's kind of standard. You really can't do much about that. Right. Of course, you can have someone take it in or what we call add darts to it, which is something that kind of makes it more shaped to your body. If you're going to do that, and I'm just going to throw this plug, if you're going to do that for shirts, it pays to just get a custom shirt by the time you invest in doing all of that. But when you go to a store, whether it's JCPenney's, Nordstrom's, Dillard's, Macy's, wherever, even TJ Maxx somewhere, you look at a shirt, two things. It's the neck size and the sleeve size. So if you go in the average store, on the label, it's going to say like a 16.5 or 16.5, and then it's going to say sleeve length 32, 33, 34, 35. That's the length of your arm. You don't want to be able to grab and have material in your sleeve. That's a bit much. And even again with your collar, you know how we talked about the hand with the pants, with your collar, you want to be able to get 2 fingers in. Anything beyond 2 fingers is too big. And I don't know if you've ever seen someone where they have a shirt on, but you can see this gap right here at their neck. It's too big. And I don't care how much you try to close that, tighten that necktie, it's a gap. Those are things that people don't know because we're taught just to go and buy and look, but there is a proper way in which your shirt is supposed to fit.
Yeah, that's good. And if you are looking to get a custom suit, shirts, anything, you looking at the right person.
I just know a man.
How can we get in contact with you if we're interested in some custom menswear?
So right now, Instagram is the biggest one. It's Dr. Akeem, spelled out DOCTORAKEEM. I am the proprietor of Walk Right Custom Clothes, and we do literally suits, shoes, shirts, neckties, anything you can dream or think of, we can do.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope this was something that was informative for you. Get you a tailor, go to the dry cleaners, ask your mama, your grandmama, somebody, but make sure that your suit is fitting right so that you are walking right. Absolutely. So that you feel confident and that you can be the best version of yourself. Tune in for the next version. If you have not already, like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all that type of stuff. And we greatly appreciate it. Peace.